I am Groot. I am Spencer.
I am not doing this bit.
And I'm hooked on a feeling. It's been 3 years since Guardians of the Galaxy somehow took the world by storm and became the most anticipated and became one of the greatest movies of 2014. And today we are going to see its sequel.
Yep.
Welcome to StillerBros at the Movies, everyone, and today we are going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the highly anticipated sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And this has been a long time coming. Guardians of the Galaxy became huge after it was released, and everybody was basically talking about the summer that a tree and a raccoon became our heroes.
It's very much one of the funnest. It was one of the funnest movies of all
Most
time.
fun.
Shut up. It was one of the most fun movies of that summer. And to kick off summer movie season this year, we're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
We're almost as repetitive as we were in that original video, which I just rewatched this today, by the way. Rewatched the old Guardians of the Galaxy video. We went on so many tangents back then, like this tangent I am on right now. We even went on the same pathway to the main highway when we were on that. Isn't that weird? It's almost serendipitous. But anyway, what can be said about this movie except everyone is back? James Gunn, the writer and director of some of the weirdest movies you will ever see, is back to write and direct this movie. We once again are set to the rockin' soundtrack of one of James Gunn's signature awesome mixes. We have Chris Pratt. By the way, we have now seen Parks and Recreation, so now we know how awesome Chris Pratt was before he became one of the greatest one of the most bankable actors of the 2010s.
We have Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista.
We can say his name now.
We have Bradley Cooper. We have
Vin Diesel,
Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan.
This whole thing is basically going to be, once again, a big star-studded salute to the straight comedy section of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And honestly, we don't know much about what's going to happen in this. We have no We're coming in almost completely spoiler-free. We don't know if this is going to tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe in any way, like the first one.
All we've gotten is from what we've seen in the advertisements, and the advertisements has been pretty light as to what is happening in the movie, other than Star-Lord meets his dad. He was played by the incomparable Kurt Russell.
And it's gonna be, and honestly, this movie looks great, and the reviews have been great. Some people are saying it's not as good as the first one. Some people have been taking that as a point against it. Some people have been just saying, well, at least we get a second movie instead of just this movie getting basically thrown away. And honestly, I think this movie could be it's gonna be really good. There's a lot to go off of, and this is really. And honestly, we're huge fans of sci-fi and action comedies, so what could go wrong?
Yeah. So,
I don't know, we've been kind of rambling. What else is there to mention?
There's not much to mention.
I guess we'll see you guys after the jump when we got more to talk about.
Yep.
Alright guys, so it is 9:25. Movie started at 7. You do the math. I thought I'd throw back to the actual video. We were here sequelizing. Anyway, what can be said about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Is it better than the original?
No.
Maybe not. I mean, this is great. This is a really good movie. It's funny, and it makes you feel things in all the right ways. But is it better than the original? Not really. I mean, the original was such a fresh, new movie that it was kind of amazing when everything about it worked.
Whereas this one, at the same time, it's kind of hard to top. So, watching this one, it's kind of it's not exactly the same feel as you got with the first movie.
I think really the thing going against this movie is the fact that it had such a great first installment to go off of. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was a hit. We don't know what made it a hit. It was just a really, really good movie.
But just the blending of everything together made it what it is.
This has everything about the first movie that everybody liked. It has the rockin' tunes, the great comedy, the incredible chemistry between the actors, and more, because now we have more incredible characters for our original cast to bounce off of. But now we've got but now we've got a bit of a bit more bits of story to go off of because now they can build on things. So first of all, let's talk about pretty much the cast of characters. Of course, the original Guardians are still just as good as they were in the original. I mean, we've got Chris Pratt as Peter Quill. We've got Zoe Saldana as Gamora, or Dave Bautista as Drax, and they all really work well off of each other. Bradley Cooper as Rocket, still the quipping asshole that he always was.
And Baby Groot is every bit as funny and cute as he has been in the advertising, but we don't get to see a lot of him.
Yeah, he's not as big a deal as the advertising and the toy stuff marketing would suggest, but hey, if you're going to make something as cute as Baby Groot, why would you waste your time and money not making toys of him?
Yeah.
Then we got Michael Rooker as Yondu. Yondu's story has actually built up in this movie because he actually gets to play more of a part than just another villain to chase the Guardians. So
Michael Rooker just knocks it out of the park. He is just so good in this movie. In a lot of ways, he's just he's just this fun character, and we feel for him for certain parts of this. And
Sean Gunn returns as his sidekick. Essentially as a sidekick, so they bounce off each other a little bit more as well. And and we kind of get this funny character going in as well. Hell, we got Mantis. I can't remember the actress's name.
I can't remember her name either.
But it's great to add another sort of character to play off of, especially since her and Drax are just kind of build somewhat of a really close friendship in the movie. And Kurt Russell as Ego. My God, he is He is quite literally and figuratively layered in this movie.
We get some pretty good stuff from Kurt Russell. He's very interesting to watch. And it's Kurt Russell, so the charisma just oozes off of him.
And there's more. There's cameos that I won't get in, that we really can't get into because some of them are spoilers. Some of them people openly know, like Sylvester Stallone, but we can't go deep into what's exactly goes into this.
We're not going to tell you anything because we want you to go in as blind as possible.
I mean, there are lots of cameos, even cameos that surprisingly we saw coming like a year ago. And without any information regarding them.
Yeah.
And there's what else? Well, the soundtrack is still really good because after stuff like we had David Bowie and the Runaways and Blue Swede and all this great stuff on the original soundtrack. Last time I said I will buy the soundtrack because I like the songs on there. Now, I already have bought the soundtrack to this one. I had not listened to it before coming into this. And I advise anyone else to do the same because you only get to listen to Awesome Mix Volume 2 once.
And thus you probably need to go in blind. Just go in as blind as possible because if you see stuff coming, it's gonna ruin the experience of seeing it for the first time. You can only see this for the first time once,
and it's worth experiencing for the first time once. I mean, if there was any critique I would have to give, it's kind of the movie kind of begins with those gold people that they kind of build up as the villains in all the trailers. They're kind of overused. They're only in like 3 or 4 scenes, but they're only in 3 or 4 scenes. But the thing is, they're kind of not really well needed in this movie. Maybe they were needed once or twice, but otherwise, really their storyline is only meant to build stuff up for. I can't keep going.
And there's a bit of a point in the movie where the team splits off, and it seems like we're watching 2 different movies for a little bit. It's kind of the same thing with Fantastic Beasts, where it was like 2 movies running simultaneously, and they don't exactly mesh.
But the difference here being that these movies, that at the very least, when these movies combine, it doesn't feel like we've got two storylines that that are kind of weirdly mixed. This Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is not better than the original, as we have stated multiple times, but it is still a good movie. I mean, honestly, this is not the weakest franchise in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And James Gunn is still is pretty much the king of funny, weird stuff going on in pretty much all his movies. Every single project he's ever worked on has been weird stuff. Has been weird, over the top, potentially funny stuff.
Yeah. So, and lastly, of course, it's a Marvel movie. Sit through the credits, all of them.
People were walking out after the second end credit scene. There are 5 here, by the way. This is not, and as we stated in the last review, this is not amateur hour.
There were people walking out before as the credits were starting.
So, if you are going to see this movie, experience the whole movie. Watch everything. Watch everything from that first Marvel logo to the very end.
Because you need to experience this movie. Because if you want to, because you can't be a filthy casual in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And don't go around saying, "Oh, the second one is always a joke." The second one in Doctor Strange was not a joke.
We had, and with this, yeah, we're not getting a lot of information on upcoming movies, but at the same time, we're getting some stuff that you are gonna miss. And you're gonna not be able to talk to your friends about it because you didn't see it. Watch the damn post-credit scenes. Marvel takes the time to stick them in there. You know, the least you could do is sit through, spend an extra 5 minutes in the theater.
So now that PSA is over, we are almost home. So I think that's it for this time around, guys. You should be sure to subscribe, like, favorite, all that good stuff, and be sure to leave a comment below saying what movie you would like to see us experience. And don't forget. So, we will see you guys next time when we are either sitting by the dock of the bay, watch, or telling the dead man's tales. Bye.
We are Groot.